Hey, Justin. That's a nice look, man.
It was something new. I appreciate it. I'm not a turtleneck guy, but
Okay. I got two for you. Fitzpatrick is a wily veteran, and he got some chunk yards on you, and he was challenging you. What did you see on that pick that allowed you to make that play when your teammates needed it?
Yeah. Fitzpatrick's a hell of a quarterback. I think he's a guy that is just not afraid to take his shots and his chances. And, there at the end of the game, he's moving the ball really well since he got in. And, we just kept telling ourselves defensively, like, we got to make a play. We have to make a sack fumble, couple pass breakups in a row, obviously an interception if we can. But we got to make a play because he's going to be aggressive. And, that's just how he's made his living. And so, yeah, towards the end, we just kind of like in a formation that we somewhat expected them to be in. Obviously, their number one targeted guy is, Devontae Parker. He's been making plays all game, and, he's a really good workhorse for them, and they're a great offensive team. And so just knew they were going to take a shot there in the end zone with him being so aggressive and, just found a way to come down with the football.
And the follow-up is this. One Pro Bowl season is pretty damn good. How do you make a Pro Bowl career, and how do you think you've grown as a player this year?
I just think it's all about being consistent, throughout your play. And it's never getting too amped up on, single accolades. And they're great, right? Obviously, you strive to be a Pro Bowl, all-pro player in every regard. But, the bigger picture for myself is, just making sure that I'm doing my job at a high level, doing what's asked of me, as a safety for our defense, and then making sure I'm bringing some guys along with me, just making sure I'm doing the best that I can and making sure that I'm just not worried about myself, but I'm worried about my guys, my defensive calls, things that I got to get done, putting guys in the best position to make plays. And so, but I think to answer the question in its entirety is just the consistency of your play, making sure that you show that you can consistently make the big plays when they come to you. And it's the NFL, guys, that's why it's hard to do. Guys week in and week out are going to get challenged, and the consistency of it is hard to do. So
next one, Troy.
Justin, you guys come off a game where you got punched in the face, a division game. You're 3-6. What clicked today? Because this was by far your most impressive overall team win, and defensively, you were just like rabid dogs out there. What happened?
Yeah, I think it was just that. It was kind of just being angry about how last week went down. And we just know we're better than that, especially towards the end of the game. I just thought, we talked about it a lot as a defense, just kind of like I think our effort and energy throughout most of the game was pretty good. And I think in the third quarter at one point, talking about the Raiders, it was maybe a minute left in the third quarter. It was still 13-6. They ended up scoring on that drive, but it's still a close game. It's still a winnable game, and we just didn't close it out nearly as well as we know we can. And just that feeling all week kind of just didn't sit right. And, we just knew what we had to do to come out here and beat a really good football team, an offense that moves the ball really well, doesn't really turn the ball over all that much, a defense that obviously takes the ball away a lot, and they play great on special teams. And so we just knew all week, like, man, we're capable of winning. We just got to play the type of football that we know we can play. And so that's what it came down to, is just winning your one-on-one matchups and finding a way to win the football game.
Next one, Andrew.
Justin, you've got 3 picks in your last 4 games. You're the first Bronco with 4 picks at this point in the season in 13 years. Are you seeing things differently back there? What's contributing to this run of picks that you've had?
A lot. Our D-line has been getting tremendous pressure, which makes it easier. Obviously in the back end, we always say rush and coverage work together. And so, as a safety, being able to kind of read route concepts and having the type of players that we have, it just makes my job that much easier. Our rush is rushing the quarterback. He probably gets rid of the ball a second earlier than he wants to. Our corners have been playing great. Esang's been doing a great job coming in at the nickel. And so once you're able to trust a few guys, and like I said, this is all a work in progress, right? Having AJ and Bryce and Esang and, myself, Kareem, and we just have a rotation full of guys. Once you kind of start getting that thing together, you start seeing all the gelling happen. But it's not just one single individual effort from myself. It's just a combination of everything that's going on. And, being able to make a play on the ball. But I thought the secondary, we were challenging the receivers all day and challenging throws, and, we just found a way to come up with a win there at the end.
Final two, Eric and I.
Justin, is that end of game interception a little sweeter since you had one taken off the board there in the first quarter?
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously, especially earlier on in the game, obviously individual accolade, like that's, of course, you'd want the pick and all that stuff, but it was more disappointing just because like of the momentum swing that just happened, right? You just had an interception, we did, and then we answered with an interception, but it got called back. So it's just like, yeah, obviously I'd want the pick, but it's more about like, dang, that hurts our momentum as a team. And I didn't even get to look at the play really. I don't know if it was actually, defensive holding, whatever they called it or not, but it just stinks that they threw a flag on that play. But it's just, being able to answer the bell when it came back up, and it took, all 4 quarters to get back to it, but we finally were able to get a takeaway and to get a couple more of those though.
Final one, Ari.
Hey, Justin, when you first off, did you think that you would see Fitzpatrick today, that you would face him? Did you think that you could have that kind of success against Tua, that he would come in, number one? And then number two, was there any thought as he started to move the ball down the field that, oh man, we maybe did too good of a job on Tua, because now here comes in, the veteran who's moving the ball?
There's always that, you always prepare for a backup to come in. It's just what you do throughout the week and prep, and you always talk about the guy, especially when it's a guy like Fitzpatrick, a guy that's been in the league for a long time, knows what he's doing, knows how to work the offensive system. You just prepare for someone like that. So we definitely prepared, for him to come in. But, like you said, he's a vet. I mean, he's been in the system for a while. He's seen all these different defenses. He knows what he's doing. And so when he was out there moving the ball, you just got to stick to what you do and win your one-on-one matchup. And they get paid too. They have great players, on the receiving end of the football, and great running backs. And like I said, it's just once we have an opportunity to make a couple of plays, we got to be able to come down with them. And we had our shots a couple of times throughout a couple of those drives there with him. And, it took it to the very end of it for kind of a thrilling close, but got to be able to come up with some of those plays, especially if we want to be where we are defensively, or where we want to be at least.